Previously on High Scores, High Stakes.
Okay, so this week's challenge game is Rocket League 2v2. First and fourth versus second and third. Me and Cardinal versus Tomahawk and Sherry.
Myself and Cardinal were under the impression that we were on the same team.
I've never been more heartbroken. I've actually never been more heartbroken.
Basically what we're going to do here is we're going to play the best of 3 games. Both members of the winning team will get 3 points. And the opposite team will get 0 points. There's going to be a bonus point available for top goal scorer. Game 1 finished with a score 4-0 to me and Cardinal. The second game finishes with a score of 3-1 to me and Cardinal. And game 3 finished with a score 6-1.
That brings our aggregate to 13-2 for the challenge.
It's massive for the league. First place is the winning team. They're going to get 3 points, and that's me and Cardinal. And then obviously Sherry and Tomahawk have lost this series, therefore they get 0 points. Because Cardinal then scored 9 goals, he gets the bonus point, and the league table is all changed. Fourth place with 9 points, Sherry. Tom is now in third with 11 points. Cardinal has went from last to second, 13 points. 4 behind me, who's sitting top with 17.
Now, on to this week's episode.
Hi, and welcome to episode 9 of High Scores, High Stakes, the podcast that can't work out how to do a start line boost. I am your host, Mr Luvva Luvva. With me, as always, are my co-hosts.
Hello, Cardinal Smith here. I've taken my cue this week. You love to see it. We're getting better at this podcast thing, I hope. Please let us know if we're not, or if we are. Thank you.
Well, my laptop's certainly disagreeing because we spent the last hour of it trying to kill itself. So if there's any PC technicians out there, let me know why a G15 laptop would just ramp up for no reason and stop. Thank you.
Wow, I didn't realize we were suddenly tech support here today. On a podcasting note, I'm hoping to actually turn things around and zero out on a challenge today. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows indeed. And speaking of zeroing out and bottoming out, some would say, let's look into what happened last week. Last week's challenge game was Rocket League, and it was a 2v2. First and fourth, which was me and Cardinal, versus second and third, which was Sherry and Tomahawk. 3 games, 3 points for the winners, 0 for the losers, and a bonus point for a top goal scorer. The way it worked out was me and Cardinal won all 3 games. 3-1, 4-0, 6-1. So that means me and Cardinal got the 3 points. Sherry and Tomahawk got 0 points. And then to make matters worse for Sherry especially, Cardinal went and got himself the wee bonus points by scoring 9 goals throughout this series of games, which means that the league was all changed. The league currently stands like this. I'm top with 17 points. Cardinal is second on 13 points. Tomahawk is third on 11 points. And Sherry is bottom again on 9 points. It's very sad. It's very sad times indeed. But it's not all left. It's not all gone. It's not all over yet. It might be for Sherry. It might be winning the league might be a bit out of reach for him. He's 8 points behind. There's only 6 more points up for grabs, really. So it's all over for Sherry, I think. I think we can put a pin in it. Maybe next year. This year's not your year, mate. But what exactly is High Scores, High Stakes? It is 4 mates, 4 PlayStations. Every week we play a different game and we take part in challenges and we compete against each other in the league. The winner of the challenge each week takes away home 3 points. Second place every week takes home 2 points. And third place takes 1 point. And last place takes 0 points. As Tom was saying, he has zeroed out in the last 2 weeks. And he's hoping to stop the rot this week.
Stop the rot is exactly right.
Can
Can
it be done?
I hope so. I mean, I know what happens, but for suspense build, I hope so.
I have no idea what you're talking about. We haven't played the challenge yet. Is that
I
part of the podcast?
I don't even know what it is yet.
That
Maybe
part
I
of the
can see it in
podcast
the
is.
future.
We film things here in sequential order, Thomas.
Well, as it happens, when it happens. None of this presumptuous attitude that we prep in advance.
No. And this is Monday, the 24th of April, and Tom is not in Berlin. So,
Coming to you live.
Some haters on the internet may tell you this is the 18th. Total lies. This is live. Always live, 24/7, just us going in circles.
Forever until one of us dies. It should last.
Or if one of our computers die.
All right.
R.I.P.
mentioning no computers, particularly.
23 months old.
It's going to be fine. We're going to get you through this.
No.
My computer frazzled
Light a
its RAM. It'll be
Every
fine.
listener out there, please light a candle for me.
Whilst everyone out there is lighting candles and saying prayers for Sherry's laptop, Sherry's probably going to be playing some games on his PlayStation. Which brings us on to Cardinal. What have you been playing this week, mate? Probably a strategy game on PC.
No, I was only playing Victoria 3 last week momentarily. The latest Paradox Interactive Grand Strategy. Look at a world map and see what you think for 7 hours. But this week, what have I been playing? I played a lot of Rocket League, if I'm honest. Given our challenge last week, and we've just been playing an obscene amount of Rocket League against randoms. It's good fun.
The question is, what is Victoria 3?
I don't even know
What do you mean? What do you mean with Victoria 3? It's
Never heard of it, mate.
It's okay. With Paradox Interactive Grand Strategy games, people on this podcast know I play lots of Hearts of Iron. Famous ones are Crusaders Kings, and then there's the Europa Universalis. But they are all set at different times of history. So Crusader Kings starts at like 910, 1000 AD up until 1400. Europa Universalis picks up at 1444 up until 1800. Victoria 3. Funnily enough, is the Victorian ages. It's 1836 to 1936, or thereabouts, or 1914. Okay, which is when Hearts of Iron 4 takes over.
Right, okay, so it's got nothing to do with the Victoria biscuits that people always get at Christmas.
People get Victoria biscuits at Christmas?
It's wee selection
Yes.
box. Yeah.
Oh,
It's a joke.
no, I'm factual about grand strategies.
Please keep all levity at the door. Thank you very much.
This is not a topical game. Yeah.
History is no joke. So Sherry, what biscuit themed games have you been playing this week, mate?
I haven't. I don't have any biscuit games in my collection, but I have been playing a game based on history of the fantastic and wizarding world of Harry Potter. Okay, so I have been playing it. I've been playing it a lot, actually. It's getting really good. It's really sucking me in, but I haven't finished it. So my goal was not met for, what was it, the 18th today?
Your deadline's well past you.
No. It's the
I
24th.
know.
It's the
My
24th.
deadline was 6 p.m. today because both Disney and Minecraft Legends both went live at 6 p.m. GMT. But there may be a saving grace. I might get another night at it. Why? Because apparently Minecraft Legends is incredibly buggy, and Disney Speedstorm, you can't even download it. So
A
it's like
saving grace for
Yeah.
Hogwarts.
So it bugged itself because it went live when the store was supposed to rotate, but the store didn't change it. So it says 0 hours countdown, but it allows you to buy it, but you can't buy it because it's like, product error occurred. So I spent £60 in a game that was supposed to come out today, and I can't even play it. So
You spent £60 on a free-to-play game, so you
I
can
did.
play it
I
today,
did.
but it's not made available.
Yeah.
Yes. So
But
basically,
at least it's better than the £35 game full release that doesn't even work because it's
I
just
can-
buggy mess.
I can just
So-
imagine Sherry last night looking at Disney, what's it called? Disney Speedstorm?
Speedstorm, yeah.
Just on the store, just going, Avada Kedavra, Avada Kedavra.
I was.
I just want to call out Sherry right now, not for a grudge chip, but just call him out slightly for spending £60 on what sounds like an arcade race game that's free to play, but he won't spend £30 on Gran Turismo 7.
Bloody right, I won't. Because I don't need to know what a manifold and a drivetrain is to race as
Nobody
Goofy.
does. Nobody knows what it means.
But you have to do well at the Gran Turismo games, and I refuse.
You just upgrade
Absolutely
it to the next
don't.
level, mate. Just take it from stock to sport, and then pro sport.
Yeah, there's like three things. It's like sport brakes, and then there's like race or semi-race brakes and race brakes, and that's it. And that's it for everything. You don't.
I hear that, but
soft
would
tires.
you rather upgrade brakes and acceleration over collecting stopwatches to upgrade Goofy and Disney Speedstorm? I don't
Well,
think
see,
so.
if
I
you
don't think
had a-
so.
Why not both?
Why not? Disney Speedstorms X GT7. Make it happen, Sony.
Well, worst things have happened. Didn't Mario Kart 7 have like a crossover with Mercedes or something? Mario Kart 8 definitely did on the Wii U. Had Mercedes DLC. It was like a Merc car, like a C class.
Oh wow.
It's
Look it
me, Lewis Hamilton.
Very good. Well done.
Welcome to High Scores, High Stakes, the podcast that it continues the sad, stereotypical nature of Italians.
You should know better after seeing Chris Pratt's performance.
Hi, it's me, Chris Pratt as Mario.
To be fair, I watched that movie and the explanation for why he doesn't sound like that. It was absolutely brilliant. So fair play to Elimination Pictures.
I would agree. I can't believe that came out 3 weeks ago.
Funny how time works.
Isn't it?
I can't believe it got it at £1 billion gate.
Speaking of passing the time, Tom, what games have you been passing the time with this week?
So there's a couple. In the 7 days between records here, I have been playing. What have I been playing? I've been playing.
Been playing so much it's clouded his judgment.
You all have just
So many games.
You have completely confused me. Now this whole like talking about
High
Goofy.
scores, high stakes.
right.
No games.
The only way this can get better is if he says he's been playing Europa Universalis or whatever it was. All the Cardinals said.
Victoria.
Or like Europa paralysis.
So,
That's what that's it.
right. I have been playing Rocket League.
Oh.
Still.
Oh.
I have been trying to undo my many mistakes and correct the timeline, so to speak. And that's not going to plan either. Apparently, most of the world are better than me.
Yeah.
Oh, I seen that last week as well. To be fair.
What about Rocket League though?
Well,
Hey!
so to break up my chronic disappointment of being terrible at Rocket League, I have been playing on the iOS Alien Blackout, the
sequel to
Isolation. Yes.
Oh
It
my
is
goodness.
absolutely excellent. It kind of reminds me of Five Nights at Freddy's, except it's Alien, so it's infinitely better.
Why are you looking at security cameras?
Basically, looking at security cameras, you're still Amanda Ripley, but you're hiding in like all the ducts. A Weyland-Yutani ship have come to the station to evacuate other employees. There's a xenomorph on board, and basically Amanda has to guide all of the NPCs to their objectives and back, and also tell them when to hide when the xenomorph comes, but also has to defend or like hide herself away in the ducts from when the xenomorph is in transit. Basically, it's really cool. It's such a different game, even canonically speaking, from the PS4 from Alien Isolation actually. But I think it's only like 5 or 6 missions long as well, so it's not going to be a long game or in-depth game, to be honest. But it's quite cool. It's quite cool for this, to extend that story and that universe, I suppose.
So it's not going to be another 7-year adventure, is what you're saying?
No. I might do this in at least one.
And it still breaks my heart because Creative Assembly have said on countless occasions that they want to do Alien Isolation 2, but Sega just won't greenlight it.
No, they won't
because
pull
they
the
don't want to
trigger.
renew the license.
Yeah.
And now they've got Angry Birds.
I can't imagine it's that expensive after the flop
I
of
wouldn't think so.
like Alien bloody whatever. It was
all
called.
the
Prometheus
trilogy,
movies.
basically. Yeah, it's interesting. Like it's a game that, who knows, not in our lifetime, maybe.
No,
Would you play
Is it-
Angry Birds Isolation? Would you just play that?
I'd basically play anything as long as it had a xenomorph in it, to be fair, honestly.
But I will say there's an honorable mention here that I have for the other game I've been half playing on. It's been on an emulator for Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis as like a wee
NES game?
yeah. So it's the wee
Yeah.
those wee point and click games.
Oh,
My
Like
goodness.
the push, pull, open, talk to, that all those up. You had 9 options and basically had to puzzle your way to find the entrance to Atlantis. It was excellent. I remember playing it back in the day when the games were on floppy disks.
I remember those.
Oh, floppies.
So my brother pointed me to a website for emulators, and I've just been playing that as well in between between edits and between doing actual work, I suppose.
Yeah.
I respect this graft of retro gaming. Fair play to you.
Cardinal,
I'm all
you've
for
inspired me.
All I can say is Tom plays retro games, he gets big salutes. Cardinal plays retro games, he gets big salutes. I say I'm playing Capcom Arcade Stadium 2, and everyone's like, boo, play real games. Loser.
What is it they say? You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Do you think Capcom were able to afford the license for Dino Crisis 2?
Yes.
Just
Why are you doing this?
must be expensive.
Why are you the way you are?
You mean Climate Crisis 2?
I wish it. I have been playing. Actually, this week I haven't been playing a Capcom game.
Praise.
This sponsorship
Like the
ran out,
beacons.
so like I'm not representing for free. I have been playing Sackboy's Big Adventure, Grand Adventure, what's it? Great
Big
Adventure?
Adventure.
It's
Big.
actually really, really good. So it is. It kind of reminds me of like it's kind of like Super Mario 3D World. Actually, more than anything is what it reminds me of. It's really good. It's really fun. The music's great. Graphics are amazing. So they are for what they are. The textures and stuff are incredible of it. It's good fun. I'm not very far into it. I'm only about 4 or 5 levels in, because it's one of those games that tells you when you finish the level you've missed something. So you're like, no, not on my watch. So you play the same level over and over again, looking for the blue orb that spawns behind the starting line, because of course that's where it spawns, right behind where you start. And in between that, I've been playing Planet Coaster. Still making my way through the storyline, but nothing really to add. I've been playing that for 3 weeks now. So shall we get to Les Challenge?
Oh, please.
Straight in there, no kissing. Let's go. Okay, this week's challenge game is the spiritual successor to Roll Cage, which is called Grip. And our challenge for Grip is very, very, very simple. We're going Le Mans style. the Les Man special. We have picked the maximum amount of laps it allows you to pick, which is 20 laps of the
High octane.
high octane racing
High
action.
octane.
I thought you were going to say something.
Yes,
No,
I was
I
waiting
was
for
going
him
to say
something
high
today.
octane.
High octane.
Yes,
You gotta
so
respect. You gotta respect us for choosing the maximum lap this race distance we can go for pure content
for
in a game
pure-
that we haven't played before.
pure unadulterated content here, folks. To be fair, I have played before. I bought this the day it released, but I didn't put much time into it. It's really difficult. It's like F-Zero. The campaign, sort of the seasons, whatever it's called, becomes so prohibitively difficult. It's frightening. It just requires perfection. And as we all found out in this game, it's physics based and it's fast, and the CPU control cars are relentlessly, ruthlessly aggressive. Vincent
So
Mann be
aggressive.
proud. Vincent Mann be proud
Unforgiving.
of their ruthless aggression, and it's savagely hard. So without any further ado, shall we get the gameplay on
We'll
the
go
screen?
straight into it, yes.
Yep,
Absolutely.
let's go.
Okay, so the challenge game is Grip. For those of you who don't know what Grip is the spiritual successor to a PlayStation 1 game called Roll Cage. Basically, what Roll Cage was a four-wheeled, all-terrain futuristic racer. You can drive in the walls, you can drive in the ceilings, and Grip takes that premise and brings it to the next level where you can drive along the faces of mountains and the roofs of caves and all sorts. It's very, very fast, high octane racing action. We have decided to go with, rather than just the 4 of us, we have put the 4 of us with 4 bots for traffic, and it's a full contact race. There are crashes, there are spills, there are thrills, there are also weapons. Many, many, many weapons. The 2 I think we see the most are the Gatling gun and the weird blue time distortion thing, which I don't even know what it does. Because you see your speed counter doesn't go down, but you just, if anything, it helps because you can actually see what's coming up for a very short amount of time and you can take action against it. There's also obstacles on the track as well. So there'll be things like rocks and pillars and columns. There's even some little small stones that if you drive over, the physics engine will throw you across the screen. It's all very difficult, I think is the word to use for Grip. So it is. But them's the rules. A futuristic racer with full contact, full weapons, and you can drive on the walls, ceilings, and you can jump, and you can fly. And without any further ado, mate, let's start these 20 laps of pure, unadulterated carnage and see how we get up.
We've hit play.
And away we go. Away we go. So it starts off like any other race. Cardinal decides he's playing Gran Turismo and just decides to go flat out, try to get an early lead. But unfortunately, he wasn't expecting the pure talent and pure skill of my shocking purple/pink vehicle. Cardinal, tell us what you're thinking here, mate. What's your thoughts of This is the first time you've ever played it?
Yeah, pretty much. I've owned the game, practiced, but honestly, I'm not prepared for the physics at all. I don't get the boost start, and I then find out immediately that there's a lot of physics going on in this, and I get flipped over and crash. So from first down to fourth, straight away. And I see Luvva straight into the lead.
I mean, why break the habit of a lifetime here? I've been smashing used boys every week, so why not just go straight for the juggler here? I'm also noticing Tom and Sherry are pretty close to one another. Sherry's just slightly behind Tom, but not anymore. She just overtook him. So Sherry, talk us through the early stage of the race, mate. What are you thinking here?
I was thinking this game is super fun, and it is. The only thing I don't like about this game, right, and you'll see it as the race progresses, the physics, like, so I don't mind it when you're crashing and stuff, which I do quite a lot, but I don't like the way other people's weaponry can flip your stuff around. So like if you get hit with like a Gatling gun, they can spin you out to the point where you're facing the wrong direction. I don't like that. I don't think weapons should have an indication of, like, because you're already getting slowed down by it stopping you. So I don't think it should have, you know what I mean?
Spin you out completely, it seems a bit...
Yeah, so if it stopped you completely and reset you in the right direction, I don't think it would be nearly as annoying or as unfair as what it is.
See, that could have been a side effect of the settings we used. So there's lots and lots of options you can pick in Grip. So one of the options you have is destructible vehicles. So your vehicle has a life bar and you can be destroyed. And once you're destroyed, it's not like you don't respawn. That's your race done. You're toast. So I turned that off for obvious reasons because we want to make us competitive. We want everyone to finish, so it's as competitive as it can be. So I think the Gatling gun spinning you out was a side effect of that. And here we go, this blue time distortion thing. It happens pretty much once a lap. I don't know what it does. I've no idea what it does.
Does anyone actually activate it, or does it just happen randomly?
I think it's a CPU.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it
because you know
definitely
at the bottom of the screen it will say like blah 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 hits someone else, and there's like a wee picture to indicate the icon of what to use. It never really shows that, I don't think, when the screen goes purple. That's what was confusing me about it.
Yeah, I have no idea what it is.
I remember I was going through the chat as we were playing, and we pretty much compared it to that of like the Mario Kart analogy all the way through. So decided that it was like the Thunderbolt in Mario Kart. It kind of slows everyone down but the person who uses it. But obviously I think at one point in the race I definitely get it to use it, but I don't feel as if you get much of an advantage as well.
I don't know what it does. The only thing is I think it slows your opponents down, or it's some sort of like relativity thing, because when it's on, your speed indicator doesn't drop or anything, but you're driving significantly
Just
slower.
yeah.
So it is, but it is a weapon in the game. I have no idea what it does. Most of the weapons in this game, to be fair to them, self-explanatory. So you have like it's Mario Kart in all but name. You have like a missile that just fires in a straight line. You have a homing missile. You have a shield that would protect you from the rear, and you have a distortion thing.
Thank goodness.
And there's a few other bits. This race is intense. Right now we're 5 laps deep. I was first for the first full 5 laps. I've been hit by weapon. I've dropped down to 5th, now 4th. Cardinal is right behind me, trying to take me down. Sherry's currently last. Tomahawk is leading the way in 2nd. Tomahawk. Go ahead, Sherry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, for audio listeners, just like previously there was showing the end of like the last lap, and Tom was in the lead, and all the other 3 of us were all going straight down this tunnel. It was absolutely, like, it was really fun to watch. Like, everyone's just barreling down this tunnel, like, full throttle.
And this is what I like about this game, is the tracks are brave and wide, but then they narrow right down to all these tunnels, and you can drive. You can just full circle, a 360 drive through the tunnels, and at certain points of the track it splits off. You can take the high route, you can take a low route, or you can take the easiest route. And at certain times here, again, this blue thing, you can see Sherry and all driving along the walls and the ceilings, and then they fall down in front of you, and it's just chaos. And it was playing this game is just so blisteringly fast. I don't know about you lads, but my heart rate was through the roof. My palms were sweating, and it was so
spaghetti.
It's so difficult because you know, like, one little mistake
Throws
and
you
the rubber banding's gonna have you. Yeah, you're gonna be.
And with that, Mr Luvva Luvva has just been dropped back to 8th with Tomahawk in 1st, Cardinal in 2nd, and John Sherry in 3rd. Incredible.
In the space of 2 laps, I've went from 1st to last.
I will say, in all the head-to-head games we've played so far, this is the least nervous I've been, and I think the main reason is that this game is just unadult. Like, it's so, like, I didn't expect to enjoy this game at all, but I was just like, the whole time I think I sat there with a stupid grin on my face, going, like, this is wild. I wish I got into it more when it was first out. But this game died relatively quickly, and I think it's kind of... I can see why, because there's a lot of like little niggling issues, but I think it could have been solved out if like the player base kind of stuck with it.
To be fair to this game, it came out... When I bought it day of release, and it was a wee bit... It was performance issues more than anything. It couldn't maintain a frame rate. But to be fair, I don't know who developed this. I can't remember. It'll come at some point, no doubt. But they did. They worked tirelessly and fixed the entire thing on it, and it's good. You still get a game on it online, so you can. I was playing online. I had 1 or 2 online games the same day as this, and it was. I didn't have to wait around very long. Like, but I keep in mind there was some bots and stuff, but you can still get a game online. Still decent.
So that's like 8 there, and we've had at least 7 of those time power-ups used against us now. So. It's hard going. It does really kill the momentum in the race as well, because that's been back down to 6th there. Because I think I had said to the boy, like, use all in chat for, you know, as the little time we did actually speak, I was leading there for about 4 laps.
Yeah.
Solid.
Right now, we're 8 laps in, coming up to the 9th lap. Sherry is in the lead and has been for maybe a lap and a half, maybe 2 laps. So Sherry's in the lead. Cardinal's about a quarter lap behind him. I'm about a quarter of a lap behind Cardinal, and Tomahawk is sitting at 6th, and he's about half a lap behind me. So we're pretty spread out over the course of the track. But as we've seen so far, like, positions are easily won, they're easily lost, and it's all going on, and it's fast. And this is the 2nd highest speed. So there's 1 more speed increase above this, and I have no idea how that's meant to be playable, because this, at some points when you hit a good top speed, it's borderline impossible to see what's going on, and that's what makes it so much fun.
That's it. It's that first sort of hairpin left you have to take, and it's like got the rock face on one side and the canyon on the left on the left hand side as well. So if you oversteer or understeer, you're either hitting straight into the wall bouncing off the track, or you're falling off the map altogether. It's a real balancing act the whole way through this race as well.
Yeah.
I find anytime being in the lead was an absolute curse, because the weapons, you have like a blue shell kind of weapon that just targets for whoever's in first. I was in first for a smidge of a second there, but John Sherry's right back into it, and here is Mr Luvva Luvva, who's just Gatling gunned me into the space. I'm facing the wrong way, and I come to a dead stop. So I've gone from what was first for a moment down to fourth, probably fifth any moment.
I'm not gonna lie, when it came to the as you say about the blue shell power up as such, there was definitely a few battles that me and you had, Cardinal, in this, like going for first and second. There was a moment I definitely remember seeing the blue shell coming, and I just full boot put the brakes on.
Yeah.
Let you overtake.
Oh, you just held back.
Yeah. What I love
Nice.
about that missile is there's homing missiles in this game, but I find because the tracks are so open and so wide, the homing ability of it is poor. So if there's a corner, the home missile's hitting nothing. But that blue missile, that blue shell, it just follows the track. It just follows the racing line and just makes a beeline to whoever's in first. And it is devastating. It just blows you into the sky. You hit the ground, you bounce, and you almost always end up facing the wrong direction. And it costs you time. It's an absolute killer. So it is.
Yeah.
But that's the point.
I think this is the first time in this entire race we're all in the top 4.
That's what I was going to say.
Right,
so right now we're 11 laps in. I'm first. Sherry was second, but now third, now fourth.
I know.
So
that was the point I was
that's
kind of
right on,
referred to earlier on. Luvva hit me with a missile, I think it was, wasn't it? Or
I
the
think it was
laser or
the
something?
laser, yeah.
Yeah, so and then it put me backwards, but because the cars in this are like very samey front and back, I legit got confused what way I was actually facing. Even though it said wrong way, I didn't know what way I had to turn to get back to the right way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I was just got a bit confused. What I would say this game, though, I noticed it quite quickly. Well, not quite quickly. It took me about 9 or 10 laps. That corner, the really tight corner, did anyone else find the brake was really insufficient to get around it?
So that's what I was going to say. So that corner with the canyon on
You just
one
wrecked
side
me, Sherry.
and the
You just
wall,
wrecked me into a canyon.
Good.
Sorry.
That corner with the canyon on one side and the wall on the other. After about
Yeah.
4 laps, the only way I could make my car take that was by breaking into it, but only for a few seconds, and then feathering the accelerator. And like Gran Turismo it. So you'll
Because the only way I could get around it was just completely taking my finger. I did it more, I think, from this point onwards. You would see my speed drop down. I just take my foot off the accelerator completely until it got like halfway around it, then back on it.
Yeah, that was good. I was
Like,
always going.
yeah, you can see it like that. Yeah,
See, I
but that's the
think
only way I could get around it. Like
I
consistently.
for that, I think I ended up never letting go of the trigger and just peppering the brake, and then just kind of nearly forcing a drift.
Yep.
Not a very good drift. I don't think the game is very well. I don't think it's built to
I don't think it has it really.
have a drift function. But if you're over braking, it'll kick your back wheel out. And I think that was kind of some of the best way I was able to, and even there, just stay on the map there. Nearly bounced off it myself.
And right now it is tight. I am right behind Tomahawk, emptying my bloody Gatling gun into his rear tires, but he's just drove straight through them. So he has
I'm just an absolute battle with the AI.
Yeah, there's one thing I'm going to ask the rest of you guys, because I definitely did it maybe after the first couple of laps where you're kind of just getting a feel for the track.
Mm-hmm.
At what point did you stop like racing for power-ups and just start racing, like thinking, right, be uninterested, just get the laps done and get them, just get through without minimal fuss?
When Luvva turned me around, that was when I was like, I just need to start making my way back up this grid here. That's what I was just like. That's what I'm still trying to do. It's just like, I don't really care about hitting people. I just want to go as fast as I can. But I think get a wee bit stressed out and start my racing line just starts taking a bit of a hit and not panic.
Yeah, to answer Tom's question, I was racing as hard as I could, but because of the nature of this game, and when you see how aggressive the AI is and how easy it is to mess up, I was like, I'm always going to take a power up if I happen to be in the racing line. If there's one in front of me, I'm taking it. I'm not going to actively not take a weapon because they are really useful. So they are really useful. What about you, Cardinal? When did you stop racing for power-ups?
I never stopped racing for power-ups because I was getting beat around. I had a taste of first around lap 8 or so, and I haven't been back there since. I've been beat up by the AI since. Just for an update, Love is first, Tomahawk still second. Sherry has just been blown apart by the AI as an 8th, and I'm in 3rd. At this point, I'm just concentrating. By this time, I've sort of understood the map. And to be honest, I'm trying to hit all the boosts, the power-ups, and always have something in my pocket. And what I'm really looking for is a shield, because once I get up ahead, I want to keep a shield handy and be ready. I'm actually using the Gatling gun right now because I don't want it, even though there's no one in front of me, and I'm looking to pick up a different boost. So I'm thinking about that.
I don't know.
Tom has
Love has
just
definitely noticed it there, because I hit you with the laser cannon and then the Gatling gun, and then I nearly tried to attempt to jump over the top of you.
Yeah. I was just watching that there. I was like, I remember the laser, and I remember the Gatling gun, because on the chat
What a
I was
flip,
like,
Sherry.
Tom is trying hard to get past me, but I'm racing through it. I'd never noticed to try to jump over it, but I noticed it there.
Because I just clip the back of you, and that sends you flying forward, and it spins me out. So
Yeah,
all
I
that
get lucky
time I spent chasing you down. I get you again with the cannon again, but it's so hard when you know you're chasing. It becomes you nearly get in your own head about it, and I think at that point I had you, and then that time power up comes down again, and it just
it saved me
So
because I'm traveling a lot slower than that missile is, and that time thing saved me there, because that was 100% hitting me, and then that time slip came in. So I think right now we're lap 17. I think I've been leading this race for at least the last 2 laps, and I'm racing hard, and I'm like, the end is almost in sight, but still a lot of time and a lot of track left to cover. And I've just noticed Cardinal has just come flying up the inside, and just absolutely just flies past me, and then it becomes, between me, you and Cardinal, becomes a 3-way dogfight. I'm first, Cardinal second, Tomahawk's third, but within about 2/10 of a second between one another.
Now I'm really pleased about this one coming up, because I remember firing this cannon, and it just nails the both of yous.
Yep, and it absolutely sends
very
me
pleased with that.
flying, spins me the wrong way. I can't get turned because of where I land on the track, and now I'm up against it. So I have just over 2 laps to try to make up about 15-20 seconds.
Now here's a really funny moment here. Sorry to interrupt here,
Go
Luvva.
ahead.
Just when this track goes into a V shape and then it comes into the tunnel, I found that it took me 18 laps to realise that I was just bouncing from surface to surface, where if you just go as the crow, you don't hit anything, and it's the fastest race. And this is where I realized, this is what I'm saying about you just nearly racing just to get ahead and put distance between people.
The game's good. It demands you learn the tracks, so it does. It requires track knowledge, and it rewards it really well. Like there's loads of ways you can tackle the tracks. You can go high, you can go low. There's lots of crossover points, and it looks really, really impressive. And it does keep a solid frame rate no matter what's going on the screen. But the wee tunnel sections, because it's so enclosed, it does like this fantastic job of making the sense of speed just feel wow. It's like a roller coaster, and we are the 19th lap. We're all still pretty close to one another, and right now I remember my heart just beating through my chest. God, oh no, I need to pick up points.
Yeah. At this point, I'm in the lead, and I've got the shield heading by, and I'm just ready to press L1 at any point. I'm waiting for the blue shell, the blue laser. Go ahead, Tom.
There was just a moment there. I think I had a death grip on the controller. I remember this. No one spoke for the last 4 laps.
I would say so. Yeah.
It was tense now, and I can see I've got Cardinal in my sights the whole way through this last lap, and I'm just thinking there's a moment where I can either just speed will overtake him, but I miss every single power. The problem is I miss every single power in that run.
I noticed that there. At this point in the game, you would have saw me just firing missiles there, and that's just me dumping power-ups to try to get like a distorter or a boost, and it never comes. It just never comes. It just gives me missiles. It's just ridiculous. But that is it. That is the 20 laps done. Sherry's still going because Sherry's been absolutely annihilated constantly by the AI. So it has done.
I didn't realize how much I actually got hit after you spun me out. It was like every lap there was one like total demolition nearly.
Yep.
I think that was karma for my attitude towards Luvva last week, trying to blow him up constantly.
Yeah. No, it was a heck of a challenge. It was the most intense challenge definitely that I remember. Like Rocket League had me nervous at points, but Grip had me nervous the entire race.
Yeah.
So it did. I only wish I knew how to do the start line boost.
Start boost would have been nice. It would have made for a jazzy start at least. In The one thing I do think, it's only watching the footage back now that I realize this, and most races do it, is any map.
Yes.
Grip doesn't do that, or at least I never noticed one anyway. It's one thing because there was no sense of where everyone was, because at one point we definitely noticed towards the end there that Sherry kind of is at least half a lap back before the time, like the race times out essentially.
Yeah, I remember at one point, maybe 3 laps to go, I remember Cardinal going, who's first? And I'm sitting, I have been in first for some time at that point, and I'm like, well, I'm not telling them I'm first, so I just sit there in silence. And then Tomahawk goes, I think it's Luvva.
Let's get him.
I didn't realize
for the first while.
He's all got these wee stat screens. I'm kind of disappointed now. He didn't show me mine at all because I didn't finish the race. That's really annoying.
That happened last week at Rocket League when you quit early in the game and you didn't get your stats either.
That was my fault though, but this is...
Well, no, I think you did. I think you definitely do get stats, but you, again, quit the game to go play Harry Potter, so...
Yeah, you have
your
to
own
finish.
death.
No, I went the whole way back to the lobby in this game, I'm pretty sure. Maybe I just didn't record it. Maybe I just didn't record it. Or didn't include it in the edit, maybe.
You decided not to include it.
Or you didn't finish the last lap, so therefore your race never ended.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because that's why I said these. I think my official race position was DNF.
Yeah, if you don't finish the race, then it can't give you the stats for the race because you didn't finish it.
Yeah.
So it only give you stats for what you have. But yeah, what a game. I think we can agree. I don't know about you guys. I really, really enjoyed that game. That game was fantastic.
Yeah. And I think it was the right map as well, because I think we did beta a couple of options there. I definitely tried one thinking it had some good like fast parts in it, but you finished a lap in about 30-40 seconds. At least that one took just
about
over
a minute.
Yeah.
I thought I was wanted to say during it, but never really got to because the action was picking up too quickly. The map was excellent. Like the map was probably one of the best racer maps I've played in years.
Yeah, I think it was called Serpent's Way. I think it's called that or something like that. It's really, really good. It was really good.
The pacing was just right in it now.
Yeah, and it had everything. That track has everything. You know, it's Grip in a microcosm in that track. It's just everything that's good about the game. That track highlights it. Every issue with the game, the track also highlights them as well because it's a difficult track. It is. There's a lot to be said. Because I remember when we were trying to decide what racer, obviously Gran Turismo was out because Sherry's frightened of the absolute power of Cardinal Smith. And I remember pushing quite hard for Wipeout.
Yes.
So
I think Wipeout's a similar vein to Grip, to be honest. It's weapons, fast paced.
But I don't think it's as fast paced as Grip. Grip is like nearly fast paced on the verge of control, whereas Wipeout is nearly deliberately restrained. Yeah,
and that's exactly what I was going to say. I think between the Wipeout HD collection and Grip, this might be unpopular. I'd probably say Grip might be the better racer than Wipeout. And I do love me some Wipeout, but Grip might be the better racer between the two.
I think the only reason I played a lot of Wipeout is because of its VR.
Yes, the VR support is brilliant.
Yeah, and I think in Wipeout you're sitting in a little cockpit in your VR world, and that's sort of like a whole different experience.
Yes. That to me seems like a headache that I'm not willing to go through.
Oh,
Not to use a static point. they use so you're in the cockpit and you're looking through the window, but you can always see the front of your ship, and it's that static point that doesn't move is what stops you from getting motion sick. I streamed that a couple of times when they first added it, and it's the entire game as well. Wipeout, it's the entire game in VR, and it's incredible.
Which you could also get now in Gran Turismo 7. Check it out now, folks, or John Sherry. Interesting.
Before this gets out of hand and becomes an episode about Wipeout, shall we maybe go to the results?
We'll go over the results here, so we will. Okay, so yeah, as Tom says there, let's bring it back away from Wipeout, away from the love-in that Wipeout has. As I was saying, I think Grip, personally, is a better racing game than Wipeout is. I think Wipeout's a better futuristic racer, but I think as a racing game, as far as racing games go, I think Grip is better than it, and it's a hell of a lot of fun to play. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But anyway, let's get the results. Okay, so obviously first, second, third are going to walk away with points, and fourth's going to walk away with nothing, and it's going to have the difference in the league this week is minimal, but there are still some things we need to discuss here. So at the end of that one, in first place, picking up 3 points is Cardinal _Smith _. In second place, picking up 2 points, he stopped the rot. It's Tomahawk.
Yes, he's back.
In third place, picking up a single point is me. And then in fourth place then is Sherry. Again, he's missed it. He's missed fourth place. So that means that the current leaderboard, the current league is in fourth place, still on 9 points. Sherry.
Need to get double figures.
Yep. In third place on 13 points is Tomahawk. In second place on 16 points is Cardinal Smith. And then in first with 18 points is me. So this is how we're looking. Okay, this is episode 9. It's the penultimate episode. We have one more challenge after this. And right now, there's 2 points between me and Cardinal. 4 points between Sherry and Tomahawk. So, first place could be very, very, very interesting. There's a fight here at the top of the table. And it's not between Tom and me, as I thought it was about 3 weeks ago. I was like, this is going to be a dogfight between me and Tomahawk. But no, Tomahawk has dropped down.
Mr. Reliable has made the surge up the table here.
Look. Once we went away from back-to-back horror games, suddenly I was allowed to pick up points again, and then we chose two weeks in a row where we got to race cars, essentially, as Tomahawk pointed out in a chat amongst us.
Yeah,
happy days. 2
driving games, and all of a sudden Cardinal Smith comes out of his shell. Thank goodness we didn't go with the strategy games. Thank goodness. Imagine that, league.
He'd have had this much, much sooner if it was an over-the-top strategy game.
Didn't say I'm good at them.
You play
Can I just say I'm still a bit like adrenaline filled from watching the race we just had. Actually,
I thought it was excellent. Like it's the one time I get to not watch my own screen for a change. To watch everyone else's race pan out was just as stressful.
Yeah, it's really interesting because obviously when you're playing it, you only see yourself, but when you see yourself getting spun out by a weapon, instantly your eyes are drawn. Who shot? Who was that? Yeah. Who's cost me that league? Because I thought during that race, that missile, the laser that takes me out, makes me in the second last lap, the one that takes me out and completely ruins my race, takes away my first place from it. I thought it was Cardinal that fired that. So I did fire,
and I didn't realize Tom also fires at exactly the same time, the same direction.
My cannon hit both of you at the same time, because it's straight shot through them.
If you look at the notifications at the bottom, it says Tomahawk lasered Cardinal, and Cardinal lasered Luvva.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just pure dumb luck. It's just at the same time you've both fired the same weapon.
I think that laser carries on though. I think it stops until it hits like a wall, and I think Tom hit both.
Yeah,
That's gonna be
I
this
think
generation's solo versus, was it Guido? Is it?
Who
Who shot first?
shot first.
We need an instant replay of that, I think,
Yeah,
at a later date.
Greedo.
Guido. Yeah.
But it's really funny. It's actually like looking at it here because I've just got the end of the record there. So obviously we've got Cardinal as our winner with bagging 3 points. There's just a few other wee statistics here that I want to kind of allude to here. You say about Luvva just how quick that game gets. You topped out at 745 kilometers per hour, and Cardinal averaged throughout the race at 437 kph. So it's bloody quick. The whole way through that game is so quick. Now there's a bit of a dogfight there going, as you say, between Luvva and Cardinal. Luvva deals the most damage, 183 points, and Cardinal is on the receiving end of 141 points worth of damage as well. So
I got slapped around a fair bit, but it sounds like Luvva did his own fair amount of slapping.
that's it, absolutely. Now,
Someone has to.
there's a weird statistic here, a couple for myself here. I had the most airtime of around 2 minutes of a 20-minute race. I don't know about that. But then
Two whole laps.
I also hit the best lap time at 46 seconds, so there were some quick runs in that.
You must have really had that first corner, that first left-hand hairpin.
There was a couple moments
pretty
I was
good.
looking at a few of them and I was like, that is a tasty racing line there. But then the other 19 laps bashed against the wall.
To be fair, it is a hard track. I don't know if anyone. I remember before that challenge, Sherry was like, what's the controls? How do I play this game?
How do you
And
boost?
I do remember telling them triggers make it go, the biggest stop, and then triangle makes you boost. Did anyone use the triangle boost?
Like twice,
Yeah.
maybe, only because I forgot. For the most part, I was too focused on not getting hit by a power up to go last. I just thought, right, just drive, it'll come to you.
Yeah, because I was sitting, my finger was on the triangle button the whole race. So it builds just over time. The faster you go, the faster it builds, and you can just use it anytime you want. I sat my finger on the triangle button and just.
I noticed you never built up much. I always waited till I had like a little bit to use, but I kept using it. But
No.
No, I just
Mine was
kept my finger on
flashing
it.
green from like the second lap, just flashed green the entire race.
I used it. That's how I got my speed up so high. It was just
There's very
constantly.
few moments in that map where you can use the full boost as well. There's, I think, 2 moments where you get a real straight line to actually use it. Any other time you're boosting into turns or twists. So it's really a case of time when your boosts on that map in particular.
Yeah, or just use them all the time.
Or just don't stop. Always be boosting.
I find it funny that I find it weird that I finished ahead of Sherry in that race because I didn't know the track at all, and I presume Sherry didn't either. But Sherry took these different directions, and I followed him for 1 or 2 of the laps. And I thought, oh, this is actually much easier, this route. So I just did Sherry's routes for the rest of the race after lap 6 or 7
as well. There's a couple of routes where you can take a wider line and it brings you out at that first left just on a straighter path. But I think to go that way, you're losing grid positions basically just for the sake of a straighter line to come into that corner, which.
But it allows you to build up more speed.
Yeah, that's
so it does. That's the thing. But you lose in distance, you're picking up in speed and boost because you're not having to brake as much. When you hit the brake, that boost stops building. So it does. It's just one of those ones. It's just playing around and trying to find what works for you. Clearly, that worked for Cardinal because he won it.
Yeah, exactly.
So he did. It's not always the shortest route between point A and point B. It's the one that's fastest. Cardinal's was faster because there were certain points in that race I was flying and then Cardinal just breezed past me like I was stand still more than once. I was thinking, where did he come
I think
from?
there's a bit of I think there's a bit of a draft system. So there was one point it was like lap 12 maybe where Tom is ahead, and Tom gets hit by some rockets that came from somebody directly behind him. And I go past him because I was directly behind him. And for whatever reason, I think you had a wobble of it, but I was able to just close up. And I think there was like a wind effect, like a drafting
Yeah, there is.
or something. But
There's also rubber banding in that game. It actually allows you can toggle it on or off. There's an actual option
if the leader's ahead to
Yeah,
compress the
to
grid.
compress the pack.
Okay.
Yeah, there is. So I left it on just to keep it nice and tight. But I think we could have safely turned that off, and it still would have been as competitive as that. But that just makes it more competitive. But there is actually an option. I think it's called auto. What's it called? Compressed catch up or something. I think it's called. But it's rubber band. The logo for it and the menu option is a rubber band.
Oh, very good.
But what a race! And a part of me is like, that would have been a great finale for the season. I don't know how you boys feel about that, but it would have been a great finale because it was from top to bottom, from lap 1 to lap 20. There's always something happening, something that my eyes were drawn to. If it wasn't a ridiculous overtake or a weapon being used from one of us on another one, it's Sherry being absolutely decimated by the AI. I got to ask you this, Sherry, okay? Because I was finding myself, now I had very little interactions with the AI. However, every interaction I had, I was getting more and more frustrated with them because they are brutally aggressive and they don't seem to miss any shots they take. You were getting hammered from them for about the best part of 5 laps. Talk to us about that.
I quite enjoyed it. I think I said that during the race itself. There was use 3, sorry, were 1, 2, 3, and I was just like in 7th having this mad battle of about 4 of them, just constantly like blowing in. They're blowing me up, and I blow them up back. It was fun. I didn't find it frustrating at all. Like,
fair enough. I can't remember what they were called, but there was 2 of them in particular, and every time I was like, I hate him. You are my nemesis.
I will make sure you perish.
If you weren't 1s and 0s, I would be fine where you live. And on that note, anything anyone else wants to add before we move on?
No, I think we're all good there. I was just having a quick look at there. So we podiumed the players in the top 5 at least anyway, but top 5, bottom half, whatever way you want to spin it, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, suppose top 5. Top 5 sounds good.
Top 5 sounds way more impressive.
All 4 of us in the top 5. 3 of us in the podium.
I would just get excited about the final week.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. We'll talk about that in the next segment. And that is episode 9, all wrapped up nice and neatly. So it is. Beautiful work, boys. I can't believe we're on episode 9 already. It's actually gone flying, so it has this season. I know Tomahawk every week is going, it seems like an eternity.
It's been a week.
You know what, though? When you say it's 9 weeks of these challenges, it's also been 2 years in the making as well. Yeah. So you would think that this would be a nice, refined, polished product by now, but
nope,
we're still making it up. We're figuring it out as we go along. I think that's been half the fun, at least, anyway.
Yeah.
Still new.
Yes. And that means next week is our last of the regular season. So it is. That is it. The next week is the last of the regular season. Doesn't mean there'll be no podcast after it, because there will be, but it'll be slightly different for a few weeks, shall we say. Next week, the finale, what way to go out? Is playing for 3 points the right way to go out in the first season? I don't think so.
Content enough.
Bigger. Go bigger.
So I'm not going to break the rules by telling everyone what the game is or what the challenge is. But what I will say is I will break the rule, and I'll tell the listeners that there are 100 points up for grab next week. Because why not? So that means the league, whilst it's looks like it's all over for Sherry, it might not be all over for Sherry. You could be looking at this time next week, season 1, high scores, high stakes cup, proud winner. It could be any one of us. The game next week is a game we're all aware of. And if we're not, Tom, are you aware of it?
I'm very much aware of it.
Okay, thank goodness.
But,
You're the one I
yeah.
was worried about more than anyone else here because you've never heard of anything else. Oh, well, what do you call that game?
I don't know.
What
these games.
civilization? Who's
What is your
Maya?
Minecraft?
The only game I've heard of is Rocket League.
Yes.
Supersonic, hyper acrobatic, Rocket League cars. But thankfully, Tom's heard of it. So if Tom's heard of it, I'm going to go out on a limb and say 99.99% of our audience has also heard of this game. But you'll find out what that is next week. You'll also find out who's going to win the High Scores High Stakes Cup, which I'm presuming is going to be unveiled this week.
It'll be
on
unveiled
our
in
Instagram.
I think I'm going to hold off. We'll do the grand unveil on episode 10.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
Oh, okay.
We'll go big on that
There's
one.
some high octane footage to look forward to.
So remember, Monday is episode 10. It's challenge 10. It's the last challenge of season 1. There will be a winner of season 1 unveiled next week, and it could be any one of us. Absolutely any one of us. So if you can't wait until next Monday and you need more of High Scores High Stakes, you can follow us on Instagram. It's at High Scores High Stakes Podcast. You can also follow us on Twitter, which is at H Scores H Stakes. I am also on Twitter. It's at Mr Luvva Luvva. Cardinal Smith has been telling you the wrong Twitter handle all season. It's actually at Cardinal _Smith _. So he needs to sort himself out a wee bit.
Just double that underscore. I'll talk to Elon.
Mr. John Sherry's been giving you the right Twitter handle all this time. It's at Mr. John Sherry. And Tomahawk is at the Tom Houghton. You can find us all there.
I changed it.
What?
I know. That's it. It is now at Tomahawk _HSHS.
Well, there we go.
Oh.
Leaning into
Oh
it.
my goodness.
That's very nice. So it is. I thought you were going to say you forgot another score halfway through it as well.
He's clan tagged himself.
That's incredible.
it.
Cool.
So it is.
Commit
We are
to the
also
bit.
we are also on Discord. We have a server for every single individual episode. We also have a general one as well. You can find that by clicking the link in the description. And you can find us also on anchor.fm, and it is High Scores High Stakes. There you can see all the Q&As. There's polls for every episode, and there is also the facility to send us a voicemail. And if you send us them, then we will get to them. We will get them. If we get one, we'll get to them. You can do anything you want. Ask us questions, gaming related or not, whatever. Or you can make fun of Sherry still sitting on 9, which is the score he had in episode 5. So it's up to yourself, really. But as
I will
always,
say, I will say just quickly, banter aside, really though, next week is the decider. There are 100 points to be dished out, which is ridiculous because I want to like hold on to my position.
Yep.
And now I'm worried. Now I'm looking behind.
Yeah, I mean, if you feel that way, I've been top pretty much the whole season, and now it's looking like I'm gonna have to be on my. We're all gonna have to be on our A game next week. There's no excuses. After
Well,
next week,
except
there's
for
no
me.
excuses.
Absolutely.
I can't drop any lower, so
Here
the only way is up.
Mr. Nothing to lose. But to find out who's going to win season 1, who's going to win the coveted High Scores High Stakes Cup, we call it Cup.
I think we'll call it a cup, yeah.
Yeah.
High Scores High Stakes Cup. You're going to have to tune in on Monday. So until then, I've been Mr. Luvva Luvva. This has been High Scores High Stakes. Love y'all. Bye.
Cheerio.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Bye.
Auf Wiedersehen again.
You did German last week.
Oh, what
know,
did I?
just-
I'm
Yes.
boring.
Oh, grazie mille. Ciao. No, I'm factual about grand strategies.
Please keep all levity at the door. Thank you very much.
This is not a comical game. Yeah.
History is no joke. So Sherry. So Sherry, what biscuit themed games have you been playing this week, mate?
I haven't. I don't have any biscuit games in my collection, but I have been playing a game based on history. of the fantastic and wizarding world of Harry Potter.